Hey everyone, welcome back to my video. So I guess it's official, you've all heard divorcing. Jamie and Nikki today came out with a 30-second statement. I think it was a joint statement. I hope it was a joint statement, sort of addressing why they've taken this 2-month hiatus off YouTube, sort of letting us know the rumors are true. They're actually in the midst of a trial separation, and if the separation could result into an actual divorce. If Australia is anything like Europe, typically you have 12 months window in which the couple sort of takes time to reassess whether they think they could get back together, whether they think they can resolve their issues. We don't know. However, there were those telltale signs. If you've been watching their videos intently in the past 2 months, there were some telltale signs. In this video, I'm sort of going to debunk the myths to why they're actually getting separated and give you my top 5 reasons as to why Jamie and Nikki just couldn't make it happen. So stay tuned and keep on watching. So for me, reason number 5, I think Nikki wanted to continue to pursue her modeling career. If you guys remember, Jamie and Nikki sort of met when she was really young. They met off what was that site again? That really popular site now. I can't remember. If anyone can remember, link it down in the comments below. But they met off MySpace. There we go. So they met off MySpace and started dating, and eventually it became something serious. Before it became something serious, we all know Nikki decided to go to New York to pursue her modeling, and she didn't really like it by her own admission. However, so when she left New York and came back to Australia and sort of started getting serious with Jamie and taking this relationship towards a more serious path, ultimately leading to marriage and 2 kids, she sort of lost herself. She was like 20, so she sort of missed out on her key years, this early 20s where most girls are sort of on this journey to self-discovery, trying to sort of understand who you were, sort of what you like, what you don't like, understand your habits, understand yourself. Nikki was already in a serious committed relationship with Jamie, ultimately her husband, and in that window we can see she mostly only ever knew Jamie as a partner. So perhaps that sort of total dependence and sort of loss of career and self-independence and lack of self-discovery in the midst now and where she feels she is at currently. She's on a process, a new journey of self-discovery, self-actualization, which is fantastic. So maybe we'll see Nikki return towards her modeling career. It would be fantastic because I think it would give her a renewed sense of self, a renewed sense of purpose, making her better for her kids and for herself. Guys, so reason number 4 as to why I think they failed. Jamie totally, completely, absolutely mentally checked out. As soon as Ava was born, something just happened. We realized that, obviously Nikki's attention sort of went from being Nikki full-time, Jamie one's #1 cheerleader, Jamie's #1 support system, to now Nikki, I'm a mom, I have Ava, I need to sort of understand what motherhood looks like. I sort of need to go on this discovery to enjoy myself as a mom. And at that point when she sort of made that transition from full-time on to Jamie to Ava, Jamie just couldn't find how to fit in exactly. And then what happens is that you see him disassociating and moving out of the house more. We sort of saw him trying to take on more projects, going out more with the guys, going on these trips, on these solo trips all over the world for his projects, his videography, which is all great because he's trying to obviously sustain the household and sort of provide an income, an alternative income as opposed to YouTube. So it's great for him. He's pursuing initiatives that he loves. This left Nikki obviously at home, full-time support system to her children, both Ava and Zoe, and this is where sort of their paths divide. So Jamie decided to go on to sort of pursue his interests, and then Nikki, whether it's self-imposed or whether it's just how the apple fell or whatever they say, whatever that saying is, or if that's how the cookie crumbled, if that's just how the cookie crumbled, she found herself playing the role of stay-home mom, full-time to the kids, and sort of taking on this homebody and sort of taking care of the house, and more domiciliated as opposed to going out and trying to revive her social life after giving birth to her children. As Jamie completely did the opposite. So in him checking out in that sense on their home life, and Nikki full-time checking in, they were moving in parallel directions. So it makes absolute sense that they just couldn't find that meeting point once more. Maybe they can. It would take an insane amount of self-discovery and self-assessment to sort of actualize what went wrong and accept it, and everyone be honest with what role they played. However, if they decide they want to go on with the separation, obviously this is not going to happen. But that marks my reason number 4 as to why I think they sort of have decided to go the route of divorce. They just lost it. Jamie checked out, went to do Jamie, whereas Nikki full-time checked in as mother, homebody, and social life killer, if that's the thing. Ooh, now reason number 3. This is getting more on the scandalous side, so I'm going to be honest. There are receipts out there sort of alluding to the fact that maybe there was a bit of truth to the infidelity rumors. So maybe, possibly, allegedly, probably, presumably, one of them stepped out of the marriage. And I won't say who. You have to tune into my next video to see who. However, there's rumors of a new exotic person in the picture, if you understand my drift. And this probably ultimately led to something, because if they had, as I say, reason number 3, if they had completely mentally checked out, it probably means they also physically checked out of sort of grooming and sort of nurturing that relationship. What they had going was them being there, being involved, being present just for the kids, to put a picture, a show for the children, and a show to the public, us. Like, honestly, they really had me fooled, because okay, it's true, we sort of saw the telltale signs, but we didn't see it coming. At least personally, I did not 100% call it until there were certain videos, like the video where I think Nikki was just about to leave for Thailand, and then we saw boxes being packed and we're wondering what's going on that. There's a vlog where Jamie actually closes the vlog by going to the guest room, and this kind of signs sort of pointed towards something. And oh, who can forget Jamie's birthday party? Oh, so when Nikki organized the prom themed event, and towards the end where Jamie goes, oh Nikki, yeah, thank you for the party, it was totally cool, I'm just now going to the club to hang out with the guys. Nikki, it was like straight through daggering of Jamie. At that point, it was a woman defeated. It was a woman who I think for me, that was the moment in the camera staring at Nikki. I knew it. I called it. It was over. It was just, that was her breaking point. Like, she just could not keep up with the facade anymore. It was done and dusted. And then the vlog ends with Jamie sort of showing some highlights from the club, which didn't even look like it was a fun night. But if the rumors, the word on the street is, rumor has it, ooh, rumor has it. Yes, I can't say. But if it's anything to go by, this is probably one of, if not the biggest reasons they probably split up. But this, more receipts are coming. I'm just going to keep it brief, and we'll move on to reason number 2. Guys, reason number 2 is pure mathematics. It's not that interesting. The fact is, statistics out there prove that interracial relationships ultimately do not last. Now, let me rephrase that. I'm more likely to break, more or less, due to the cultural differences. It's logical, it makes sense, we can't dispute that. I'm not trying to say they cannot last or will not work or will not flourish, but the chances of them breaking up are higher given the inherent differences, whether it comes to simple ways of annotations or understanding or anything. It's more than likely the people who are culturally grouped in a similar sort of group outlast those who are sort of mixing a variety, an array of cultures. They could be a cultural clash. Now, Jamie and Nikki, throughout their YouTube channel or throughout their journey, this was not a focal point for them. This was not an issue, which is fantastic because they wanted us to see them as Jamie and Nikki, the persons, not Jamie and Nikki. Nikki, they're Sudanese, and Jamie, the Australian. They never did that, and kudos to them because life is much more than that. However, the fact that they have some biases, whether it be a way of raising kids, maybe they have differences in the way they saw their married life, maybe in the way they were sharing the domestic chores, maybe these are all a few things that had them completely on different pages, and ultimately sort of builds a friction in the relationship. And yeah, okay, you can start with this sort of passive aggressiveness, which is probably what most definitely starts before it leads to full-blown irritation, full-blown agitation, and then you reach the point where you just can't take it anymore. And ultimately this is where we are. And yeah, for me, this is a big one. So you guys tell me what you think. Do you think that people from different cultural backgrounds, especially when they get married, are they more likely to end up divorced? And this just doesn't mean that you have to be white and black. This could mean, for example, South Korean versus North Korean, maybe you're Japanese versus Korean, just different intercultural groupings. Is it possible that the mathematics, obviously the statistics are out there, it's true, more interracial couples end up divorced as opposed to same culturally included couples. But however, I'd love to hear your feedback. Let me know what you think. Is it speculation? Is just it hyperbole or exaggeration? Just let me know what you think. So this brings us to reason number 1. Guys, reason number 1 is probably for me the one that rings true. It's probably the easiest and probably the one we cannot dispute. It's simple. They just were not meant to be. If you think about it, the reason why we're all here sitting and talking about Jamie and Nikki is because we saw them at a time where there was not a lot of representation or there was a lot of dispute and dysfunction on how we view relationships. They came into our households, they presented us, me, you, the common person, the everyday person, and what they did is that they showed us that it's possible to be in love. They showed us that in the context of reality, this is what love looks like. And it was real. Okay, perhaps most of it was staged for the camera, for us to sort of see what they wanted us to see. Again, we talked about this in my last video. It's purely a marketing strategy. It makes a lot of sense. However, we fell for it and we believed it. We were happy to see a young, dynamic, interesting couple from Australia in love and see what they did on the day-to-day because they let us into their household. We saw where they were going, who their friends were, how they interact in real-life situations, things that we all go through on a day-to-day. So it was a sense of normalcy for us to watch them. And maybe at a certain point, 2 years, 3 years down the line, they realized that we're not a match. However, what we have going here in what we're building and the message we're portraying, it's bigger than that. And it grew and it grew and it grew. And they sort of had this mini celebrity status. And maybe they didn't want to get rid of that, and maybe they got accustomed to the lifestyle and everything it provided to them, which is fine. I'm not here to judge anyone. But the thing is, at some point in the relationship, Jamie and Nikki obviously realized that maybe they were not that perfect for each other, But instead of acknowledging this, and maybe at that point they should have sort of sat back and tried to resolve their issues, what they decided ultimately to do was keep on going and keep on going and keep on going. They went because it's a channel that has grown with so many subscribers, so many views, and they've made a killing out of YouTube. However, at a certain point, they just realized that for all the views and for all the money and for all the lifestyle, in the end, if you are not compatible, you are just not compatible. You can only fake it so much. So I think ultimately they decided we've had a good run on YouTube, but I don't know how they're going to split up the YouTube channel. I guess Jamie probably invests more in the editing and putting out vlogs, so maybe he has more rights, more say onto who gets the channel. I don't know, this will be interesting to see. And Nikki has her makeup channel, so perhaps you can just sort of go back to that, and Jamie sort of takes the YouTube channel full time and probably pays her some sort of spousal support. I don't know, that we'll see as how the story turns out. I'm still hoping secretly that they get back together. However, if I get back to my point, it was about being compatible. If they were meant to be, and if God had a sign that Jamie was for Nikki and Nikki was for Jamie, this would not be happening. Ultimately, there's a bigger purpose. There's someone out there who matches each individually perfectly. So I wish them well if they decide to be honest and we cannot keep going. I support it, I'm here for it. It's them, it's their decision, it's their choices, it's ultimately their life. So what I wish or what desires I have for them ultimately means nothing. I can just offer my views and opinions as someone who enjoyed watching them, enjoyed growing with them, and sort of really enjoyed going through life vicariously living through Jamie and Nikki. So my top number one reason was definitely compatibility. So throughout my video, I sort of walked you through my top 5 reasons as to why I think they broke up. And in the next video, I'm spilling the tea with all of the receipts. So check it out, wait for it, it's coming. I just wanted to get on here really quickly as this just sort of broke and we saw it coming, we knew it was happening. I spoke about it in my last video. I was trying to get up a video which I presented to you all my receipts. I will do. However, for now, stay tuned, keep on watching. Thank you guys.